Howdy, other film movie fans, and welcome back to the greatest film franchise tournament brought to you by the Wisco Movie Watchers Club and those Davies boys. As always, we're your hosts, those Davies boys, Evan and Dylan Davies. It's round one time, Dylan.
Yep.
Shit gets real now.
I'm a little sad we don't get to talk about TMNT. I mean, it was such a good franchise.
Well, I mean, let's go over some quick results. We had the opening rounds last week in terms of recording. Not quite sure how they are coming out in the obvious release schedule, but obviously they'd be released before this one would be if you're getting this in format. Because we're doing this live on Twitch in live recording form, and then the releases come out afterwards. In the play-in rounds, Austin Powers barely nudged out TMNT, the 90s TMNT. How to Train Your Dragon took out all 16 films of the DCEU. Vacation nudged out Transformers. And I think that was just what franchise had more horrible films.
It kind of did boil down to that, yeah.
Avatar was nudged out by Mad Max. The Apes reboot franchise took out Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th just couldn't compete.
Shot to the heart.
I mean, to be fair, you're kind of to blame on that one. Because you're like, I can't argue it.
They do have too many, like, truly shitty movies.
Right. The Evil Dead franchise, the original trilogy, took out all of Phase 4 of the MCU, which I don't think is wrong. Terminator nudged out Dylan's Baby, The Mummy, which I kind of argued. I couldn't argue it anymore, but I was like, it's closer than people want to think.
That one's less of a shot in the heart because I only truly love one of them.
Yeah.
So,
and then Rocky nudged out The Conjuring. And it was an odd battle because you and I were divided on that one, which was interesting.
Yeah.
At least. But these opening rounds, this first episode, if you're listening in on recorded format, which is on YouTube or Spotify possibly, we have our opening rounds. The Jurassic Park franchise will be taking on Austin Powers. Nightmare on Elm Street made it into the tournament and will be taking on Indiana Jones. MCU's Phase 2 will be taking on the late 80s to 90s Batman franchise. Phase 1 of the MCU will be taking on the play-in winner of How to Train Your Dragon. Toy Story will be taking on Vacation, and let me tell you, Vacation's got a real shot to win.
Especially once the math gets added into it.
Especially when the math gets added in. X-Men will be taking on Star Wars, and I think that's closer than people believe it is. Godfather will be taking on Deadpool, and that is so much fun to have. And then we have the play-in winner with Mad Max taking on the Dark Knight trilogy. So we have some real interesting matchups here. And to qualify, Dylan and I are going to try to say 5 minutes for each battle. We can go over if we have to, but we're going to try to keep it 5 minutes to each battle. And not only do Dylan and I's personal scores come into effect, now we add the Rotten Tomatoes aggregate score. So is that both the popcorn score and the tomato score?
So pretty much it'll be out of 40.
Okay.
Because your score out of 10, my score out of 10, and then I'll divide the critic score into 10 instead of 100, and then the audience score, changing it to 10 instead of 100.
Right. So it's going to be an interesting
So
battle.
I'll keep my my calculator out.
So Dylan and I first will go Jurassic Park, Austin Powers, but again, Dylan and I both kind of take into account some of our criteria. We try not to put complete impact score, but it should be favored in a little bit in our personal scores, probably. Obviously, quality of the film is what we like, but also just the straight quality of the films. Just because we like something more does not inherently mean we give it a better score than something that has been reviewed better and is just factually. All film is subjective, so it's fun to say factually better in this context, but it is one that is interesting. So, do you want to set the timer or you want me to set the timer?
If you please.
No
Also,
problem.
for Jurassic Park, did we decide 7 or 3?
We decided on 3, I believe, because Jurassic World kind of
Okay.
became its own thing.
Okay.
So, let's go here. 5 minutes on the clock will be happening. And then I will probably have to watch this like a hawk so we don't get the alarm sound in here. Jurassic Park versus Austin Powers. Here we go. 5 minutes is going. Where do you favor this right now?
I would say it's actually tough for me because I think all three Austin Powers are quality and I like them.
Yeah.
Whereas I don't really love Jurassic Park 2 or Jurassic
Jurassic Park
Park
3 is
3.
terrible. It's terrible.
I don't think any of them are terrible, but like I don't love I don't even like them, honestly.
This is a discussion in this. How big of a standout do you have to be to carry a franchise? Because
Exactly.
I know this is not the way you score. I would score Jurassic Park a 9.5 out of 10. Like the original Jurassic Park
Sure.
in the way I grade movies. I'm like, I don't know if it's perfect, but it's damn close. And
Mhm.
very few movies ever get me to have the goosebumps like Jurassic Park does, where I have tears in my eyes and I feel goosebumps every time that first shot in the valley happens. Every
Yeah.
time. And I don't know why, but I always get emotional during it. Austin Powers does not do that for me. But the Lost Kingdom, which is the second one, correct?
Jurassic Park
Or Lost World,
2.
I'm sorry.
Lost World.
Yeah,
Yes,
Lost World,
Lost
not
World.
Lost Kingdom. Lost World, I've seen half of, not impressed by.
It's
And
fine.
Jurassic Park 3 is bad. Like, that's a legitimately bad movie, in my opinion. And
It-
I just can't let it go. I can't let that go. But Jurassic Park 1 is so much better than all three of the Austin Powers
I would
movies.
agree with
It's
that.
not even close of a discussion. So what do you value more? Are the other two?
Exactly.
I'm looking at this like I'm trying to look at this like the old Eastern Conference, old so to speak, where it's LeBron's Cavs versus the Celtics at the time, where it's LeBron and a bunch of junk
Yeah.
versus Pierce and Garnett and Ray Allen, where all three are really
I
good,
wouldn't.
consistent
I
Hall
would.
of Fame
I
players.
wouldn't. I wouldn't say any of the Austin Powers are Ray Allen, though.
No, none of them are that good. I want to make that clear, but I kind of view it in the same way where they have a really good ensemble team, but LeBron is still better than all of them by far.
Mhm.
But it's LeBron and a bunch of junk.
I think I am favoring Jurassic Park,
Because I still go, this is
but
how much I favor it. I would say Jurassic Park is still a 7 because those other two bring down.
okay, that seems right to me. I would say, yeah, I'd probably say 7. So that's a 14. And then in terms of numbers here, so the critic aggregate score is 65.66.
for
So six
for Jurassic.
for the three Jurassic Parks.
Okay. So 6.5.
Yes. The audience is a 60%. And
Interesting.
let me tell you, those numbers are only boosted because Jurassic Park 1 is a 91 on both scores.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Jurassic Park 3 is 49.37. So not great.
I think that's a fairly reviewed movie then.
So you said yours was a 7.
Yes.
I would have I do 0.75s.
You can do whatever you want. I don't care,
Okay,
math. It's
I'm
math.
gonna
We
do
can add math. It's fine.
I'm gonna do 6.75.
Okay.
So out of 40, Jurassic Park is a 26.31.
All right. How'd
Now,
you get 3-1?
oh, because I did 6.56
Oh, okay. I because I have
for the critics.
I because I have 6.5 for the
Yes.
critics I just rounded to 6.5 and then 6. So,
I doing it literally to the exact.
okay, so what is the final score of Jurassic Park?
Shit, I didn't write it down.
Well, you said 7, 6.75, 6.56, and 6.
Plus 7 plus 6.75.
20,
26.31.
26.31. Okay, that's interesting.
Now, Austin Powers. What would you give it?
5.5.
Okay, I think I'd go a 6.
That is our time set. Well, we're doing math, so it's fine.
Yes, I would give it a 6 because I genuinely think all three of them are at least like 3 out of 5.
Okay.
Like none of them really rise above that,
Sure.
but they're all good. 5.5.
I
The
literally,
critics.
after doing this, I got a bunch of clips of Austin Powers on my Instagram feed. And it was
Oh, really?
funny to keep. It's that clip from Spy Who Shagged Me where it's the female spy that's trying to kill him, but she just keeps taking every hit.
Oh, yes, yes.
It's just like ridiculous.
There's great points in there. Okay, so the the critics aggregate is 59.66. The audience aggregate is 64%.
Okay.
So, altogether, Austin Powers is a 23.86.
3.86 because you said it's 5.5 for me, 6 for you, and what were the other two?
59.66, so 5.96, and 6.4.
I think that's a
And,
really reflective
and in
score.
terms of franchise, the first Austin Powers is the highest, Goldmember is the lowest.
That's not shocking. I'd agree with that.
I would agree too.
I think Spy Who Shagged Me is underrated in that. I think that 2 would probably be what I would consider the best, then 1, then 3.
Oh, I think it goes in exact order. 1 best, 2 second,
I think 1 and 2 at
Goldmember
least are
third.
discussion, and 3 is by far the worst.
I still love Goldmember.
I
Like,
enjoy it, but it's not that good. So yeah. So we're saying Jurassic Park is moving on 26.31.
yep.
Again, add in this math is where it gets scary for stuff.
Yeah, you never know. You never know.
You never know. Because this is a lot closer than I thought it would be. I was like, well, Jurassic Park's going to win. But by how much?
That's the thing is it good to have one outlier or is it good to just be consistently okay?
This is the closest to sport this show has ever been.
Yeah.
Because we were actually like trying to figure that out. But Jurassic Park takes the win over Austin Powers. I'm going to be honest, Jurassic Park, as well as it did in our action movie scene tournament last year. It went all the way to the finals with that T-Rex
Yeah.
scene. It's I don't know if a repeat's happening here, folks.
No, it's shaky. That's for sure.
All right, we're now going to take it to Nightmare on Elm Street versus Indiana Jones. And I will say I'm very informed on one franchise, and I'm not very informed on another one.
Okay. To me, this is not even a contest.
I would agree.
Indiana Jones is arguably one of the best franchises. Does it get dragged down a little bit? Yes. But there are way more than 2 shitty Nightmare movies compared to the 2 shitty Indiana Jones movies.
So I'm just going to.
And I don't even think either of those are shitty. They're just, whatever.
Oh, the last 2 indie movies?
Yeah.
I don't think either of those movies are offensive. I think the only reason Kingdom of the Crystal Skull gets the reputation of being offensive is because you're going off of 20 years of nostalgia,
Yeah.
and you can't wait for the next indie. And then
I would argue
Shia LaBeouf swinging with a bunch of monkeys.
Yeah, I would argue
an alien adventure that you'd never wanted aliens to be a part of.
half that movie is good. Once they get to the jungle, that's when it starts getting worse.
The thing is this, I would still argue Kingdom of the Crystal Skull is an above average movie.
So would I.
I've said this before. If you slap any other title on that movie, I think that is a well-reviewed movie. I really do. because it just
Technically
becomes
speaking, it is well reviewed.
it's a fun, good adventure movie. It's just not a great Indiana Jones movie because it
Yeah,
violates what people wanted. The fact that George Lucas finally got his way, and it was at a time when George Lucas was not giving out great ideas,
yeah,
and the fact that they went aliens, like the time travel stuff in Dial of Destiny is bad. I don't like it. I want to make it
it's
clear.
crazy.
But I could buy time travel more than I could buy aliens in Indiana Jones specifically. Because they've always shown there's a supernatural element to it. You're already kind of in the theme of time travel with an archaeologist trying to unearth stuff. So you're like, okay, maybe. Maybe. Don't like it, but maybe, right? Where the second you're like, no, it's the Aztec city of gold, but it's actually a flying saucer. And you're like, why?
I I still enjoy them,
Yeah,
like even the crappy ones. That's the thing.
that's the thing. I still like Dial of Destiny. I don't love Dial of Destiny. I'm saying,
Yeah,
like, I could rewatch Dial. Someone could put Dial of Destiny on right now, and I might go, yeah, fine. I'm not going to be thrilled, but I'm
yeah.
still getting Harrison Ford as Indiana Jones.
To me, Indiana Jones and my numbers might fluctuate throughout the tournament. I don't know, but
Sure.
at this very moment, I'd give Indy a 7.5 because those first three, all three of them would be in my top 100 individually.
Right. Interesting. We're getting a nice siren going for tornadoes now in fucking March. It's a
I was
test.
gonna say I am not hearing nothing,
It's a
but
test. I just want to see
and
how
then
much this is impacting our audio.
I don't hear anything.
Oh, not at all. Great. Okay, so here's what I'll say. I'm gonna go. I'm naturally very high on Indy, as we already revealed in the top 100. Raiders of the Lost Ark is my favorite movie of all time. I will argue it's perfect. Couldn't care less.
I
So
would give that a 9.
my
Which,
scores. That's a very high praise for from
yeah,
Dylan Davies. My scores for Indy would be 10, 8, 5, 9, 6, 5, 5, 5.
okay.
I haven't done the averages, but
So that's looking like it's around an 8.
I'm going to go. I was thinking 8-5 for Indy. This is what I'm going to give my final score at. Because I also think
So
it is. Indy became the standard for all adventure movies before or after. It did exactly what you're supposed to do, which is
yeah.
everything in your genre before you and after you is compared to you.
So out of 40, Indiana Jones is a 32.3,
Okay.
which, if
That's
you
a
want
really
to
nice score.
grade, is almost exactly 80%.
Right.
So, and Nightmare. Okay. Nightmare. It's my least favorite of the, like, original slasher movies.
Sure.
It's by far the most fantastic of the three. Also, I would say it's the most creative,
Sure.
but that doesn't always work.
Yeah.
And there are,
And that is our timer for
like,
5.
I would say 5 and 6 are legitimately awful movies to watch. And 2 isn't much better. Like, number 1 is really the one that's like, okay, this is a great movie.
It's an outlier. Yeah.
And we see why it spawned an entire franchise. 3 and 4 are also pretty good. And I like Freddy vs. Jason, even though it's obvious garbage.
Well, eventually it's probably going to be in one of our watch alongs, which we got to do sometime in the next month or two. So I have Nightmare at
So
4 because I think that first one has enough of an impact that I would say the original Nightmare on Elm Street I'd probably grade a 7. I'm not in love with it, but I think it's a good movie. I understand why other people
I
like it.
7.5, yeah.
And the rest of the franchise that I have seen, I think is laughably bad. I'm giving it a 4 though because it gave enough impact that I'd be like, okay, fine.
5 and 6, I would give a 1 out of 10, honestly. So in terms of critic score, it's 54.88, audience 51. So total out of 40, Nightmare is a 19.58.
Woof.
This is a landslide.
Yeah, Indy takes this one. Go
Also,
through
the
and tell us every individual score on Nightmare on Elm Street if you have it.
I'll just do the highest and the lowest. Highest is definitely Nightmare 1, 94 critic, 84 audience.
Wow.
Freddy's Dead, which is 6. Yeah, I think it's 6. That has 23 critic, 32 audience.
Woof.
It's a 2.1 on Letterboxd.
That's pretty bad.
And that's an accomplishment in terms of how bad it is.
It is. It is in general. Alrighty. Now, let's take it to a superhero battle. We have MCU's Phase 2 taking on the 90s Batman, 89 to 97. And here is where you get back in that classic conversation. How many outliers can you have on your franchise?
You said Phase 2?
Phase 2. So
Okay.
Phase 2, you're going Iron Man 3, Thor 2.
Yeah.
It's Winter Soldier, Guardians of the Galaxy, Avengers, Age of Ultron. I
Yeah.
believe Ant-Man is considered Phase 2.
Yes. Those are the ones. Okay, so Batman. I would argue the first Batman, as much as I respect it, I don't like it that much.
I would put a 7 on it. I obviously love it, but I love it more from what it did than the
Yeah.
movie itself. The one I revisit is the sequel, obviously.
Yeah. Batman Returns is a better movie. But again, I don't love it.
As you know, it's in my top 10. I adore Batman Returns. It's the movie that got me most interested in Batman as a kid. And Batman has become my world ever since.
I'm pretty sure I mentioned this when we did the Batman Forever episode for the big box office.
Yeah.
I think that's worse than Batman and Robin.
That's a wild take, by the way.
only because I get way more enjoyment out of Batman and Robin about how shitty it is than I do Batman Forever. Like, that's just, even though it doesn't look bland, it's very bland.
So I would go here. I have a favorable opinion on 3 of the 4 movies.
Okay.
I would say if I'm grading them on my own personal scale, it'd be 7, 9, 6, 5, 5. I go 5, 7, 5. And then it's a solid 2, baby, on Batman and Robin.
You're not off that by far in terms of numbers on that.
Batman Returns is so goddamn good. And I also have become a champion of that movie where I'm like, this movie does not get the respect it deserves. And I will fight tooth and nail for it my entire life. Just the other day, I've been doing this thing with kids where we're stuck in the parking lot because it's spring and our whole grass area is fucking mud right now, so we can't really go in the grass much when we go outside. So we take them out in the parking lot and set a bunch of stuff up. I make this little board game, and then they do trivia questions. And one of my kids was like, "Oh, I said, name one Batman villain that isn't the Joker." Was one of the questions, and he couldn't remember Penguin at first, but he's like, "I know it's that guy that stands in the ducky," and I was like, "It's still making an impact 35 years later." That this kid's even like, it's the guy who stands in the duck. What's his name? And he's like 7. And I'm still like, let's fucking go.
Okay, so for the whole franchise, what would be your score?
I think I have to take it down to 7 because
Okay,
Batman and Robin's bad.
I'm gonna give it a 5.
Whoa, I can't.
Because I would give Batman 89 a 6. I would give Batman Returns a 7. And those last two, I don't even know, honestly.
I don't think Batman Forever is that bad.
It's bad. I did not enjoy my rewatch of it. So, in terms of a score, out of 40, Batman gets 22.42 because
Okay.
the critic aggregate is 52.75 and the audience is 51.5.
You
And I'll
said
tell you
what was the final score again? Please repeat that.
22.42.
Okay.
And I will tell you that's almost entirely because Batman and Robin is an 11%
Oh
and a
god.
16%.
It's bad. It's bad.
Um,
George Clooney still refunded ticket money from that. If we ever see George Clooney, we have to tell him because he'll give us money.
good.
But I do believe that is the first movie I ever saw in theaters.
To illustrate that point, um, Batman and Robin, in terms of numbers, is the number one worst movie on in Rotten Tomatoes on
Yeah.
this in this franchise, and it's the third worst in terms of Letterboxd.
Yeah. It's bad. And it's one of my wife's favorite movies. She fucking loves Batman and Robin.
It's fun in terms of how shitty it is, but
If is that the kind of shitty movie that if we did a watch along you would do?
it probably.
Okay. What
Okay,
we need
now
to figure out
phase
what the kind of
two.
shitty movie is that you will do a watch along to.
Phase two, you have Iron Man 3. I don't like.
It's one of those. I think it's a good movie. It's not something I love.
Um, I don't love. Well, Thor 2's next. Don't love that.
That's bad. That's a bad movie.
Yeah. Um, the ones that really stand out are Captain America 2 and Guardians. Other than
I
that,
mean, those are two of the top 5 of the MCU.
yes. Other than that, though, the other four are like actual bad to meh.
Well, what are we talking about here? Let's go through phase 2.
You got Iron Man 3,
I
Thor 2,
I view that favorably. I view that not unfavorably.
Cap 2,
That's one of my favorites.
Guardians.
Guardians I have is great.
That would probably be my number one in the MCU. First Guardians. Uh, Avengers 2, which I think is bad.
I would still view that favorably. I think it's underrated, but it's not great. Messy. It's a messy movie.
And Ant-Man, which is very whatever.
I think it's a good but very simple movie. So for phase 2, I would say it's a 7 for me again. I think Winter
Okay.
Soldier and Guardians of the Galaxy are incredible. I think Iron Man
Yes.
3, Avengers, and Ant-Man I all view favorably for different reasons. If I stack ranked them, it would be Winter Soldier, Guardians of the Galaxy, Ant-Man, and Avengers Age of Ultron kind of tied. Iron Man 3, and then a deep, deep cavity for The Dark World.
I would give it a 6, I think, in terms of the whole.
If I'm gonna give Batman a 7, I gotta give Phase 2 a 7.
Okay. So out of 40, it got a 29.46. The critic aggregate is 80.83. So very consistent.
Yep.
Audience 83.83.
Yep.
So yeah, the only one that has pretty low numbers is Thor 2,
Yeah, Thor the Dark World's gonna review
which
terribly.
is still 67.74. So not unfavorably.
That's a poorly reviewed film in terms of the reviews were not what they should be.
I feel that way about a lot of Marvel stuff. So
I was gonna say this, and I thought about this the other day. I wanted to see how much we were gonna have to change things. Were we gonna put a penalty on anything because of the blind fan loyalty?
I think the only
Because I think
time that'll
Star Wars is going to have way too much of that. And I don't think it's an accurate reflection of those movies.
yeah.
And because I remember when we first went back and looked at some of those Rotten Tomatoes scores, you and I were both flabbergasted at how well they reviewed when they were clearly not great.
That's just gonna go into my account of my score.
So I think I might penalize stuff where the fan base is too loyal, where I know I am too loyal to Batman. but the Batman fan base has not gone and saved the reviews of Batman and Robin. They know it's bad and it's fine. And Batman
Mhm.
Forever, they haven't gone and rescued the reviews of that. They're just like, it's a movie. Where Star Wars, Phantom Menace, and like Attack of the Clones are fucking bad.
Yeah.
But I know they have better scores than they should. So that's something I wanted to ask you about.
I
Obviously,
think Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker are also legitimately bad.
yeah. So phase two is going to take this battle of Batman versus the phase two.
Yes.
Of those movies, I would, if I had to argue based on merit, I'd probably say Winter Soldier's the best of the bunch. But I think it's a conversation of the three. I think
See,
it's,
that's the thing is like I like Guardians more than I like Batman Returns, and I like Cap 2 more than I like Batman 89.
well, yeah.
So like it has to win.
Yeah. All right, we go into another play-in style game. The trilogy of How to Train Your Dragon is taking on Marvel's Phase 1.
Okay.
I don't love
Well,
Phase 1.
okay, so phase 1, Iron Man, The Incredible Hulk, Iron Man 2, Thor, Captain America, and Avengers.
The best movie is Avengers and Iron Man. And
Yeah.
then I would say it's Cap. And then
Yep.
Thor, and then Hulk, and then Iron Man 2 is the worst of the bunch.
This is as middle of the road as it gets. This is a 6 to me all the way.
I also have a 6. I think
Okay.
that Avengers has not aged well. I think the impact of Avengers, like, I want to bring the Avengers score up because the first time, I never want to take away too much from Avengers because it's truly a one of a kind, first of its kind movie. Where,
I dislike it.
but I loved Avengers when I first saw it.
Yeah, yeah.
And I still think it holds up as a good movie, but I don't think it holds up the same way. I don't think it's comparable in quality to Infinity War or Endgame. I don't even think it's close.
Yeah.
There's a very obvious, those two movies are great movies, and Avengers is what people are trying to imitate a great comic book movie could be. And it's
Yeah.
not the same.
I think I dislike Avengers because it's like, in terms of aesthetic, it's like about as bland as it gets.
It is very cardboard cutouty. It's very
Yeah.
they haven't figured out the costumes yet. None of them look. Iron Man looks good but they've refined it over 3 movies now.
Yeah.
Captain America looks awful. Black Widow and Hawkeye both are fine, but they're very much bland agent suits.
Yeah.
Hulk looks much better. I would say Hulk looks great in
I would
Avengers.
agree with that. So in terms of numbers, phase 1 is an 80.33.
Okay.
Technically speaking, only 0.5 below phase 2.
Yeah.
Audience is 78.83. So again, they're very, very consistent. In terms of on the whole, out of 40, it's a 27.91. The lowest phase 1 movie is Incredible Hulk.
Yeah.
68.69.
I think that's inaccurate. Iron Man 2 is a worse movie than Hulk. Hulk just doesn't fit in the MCU anymore.
Iron Man 2 is a 72, a 71. Again, people have loyalty to Marvel.
Makes
Now,
sense.
How to Train Your Dragon.
I'm going 6 on the MCU. So we got to what, 27.91 is what you said for that final score? Fair enough.
It's tough because I think they're quality movies, but I just don't care about any of them.
I would say it's a 7. I view them all favorably, but I don't care. Actually, you know what? I'm going to revise that. They don't stick with me, and I want to keep true to that from what I said in the play-in rounds. I'm going to go 6-5. They're all
I would
good.
agree.
They're all very good movies. I just couldn't give a flying fuck about them. I forget them the second after I've watched them.
I would agree. I think they're all quality, but I just do not give a shit about that franchise as a whole.
No.
Now, the numbers are extremely favorable for this franchise, though.
Oh yeah.
Not the critic score is an aggregate of 93.66. The audience aggregate is 89.33. So even with our middling numbers, total it's 31.29.
Wow.
It's an incredibly consistently high franchise.
Well, of the
I mean,
competition thus far,
the
it's the
first
second best that we've seen.
the first one has a 99 critic score. I think that's a little going too far, but
Well, remember the critic score is the aggregate of who's giving positive
yeah,
scores.
just if it's 3 out of 5 or higher,
So
yeah.
90% of 99% of critics gave it a favorable score. I think that's accurate for the platform that is Rotten Tomatoes.
True. Okay. What's next?
I like how we're like we can go through that one relatively quickly. We even did that on time before the timer went through.
How to Train Your Dragon. There's not much to talk about.
No, it's just not that impressive. It's
The
it
first one's great, and the other two are as forgettable as they come.
they're still good movies though. That's the crazy part.
Exactly.
It's just they're that team that makes the play. You know what How to Train Your Dragon is? They're the modern day Steelers. They always make the playoffs and they always lose in the first round. But you can't say they're not a quality team, but you also
Mm-hmm.
can't say that they're a great team.
Yeah, I'd agree.
But they're always competitive, they're always in the mix. That's what I would say here. Now, obviously, we're getting ready for the biggest upset of the tournament on this round. We got Toy Story taking on the little engine that could in the vacation films.
Okay, so because it's right in front of me, the vacation numbers, I do. One is genuinely a good movie.
I would agree.
Christmas Vacation is a classic.
So, legitimately great movie.
I like the first one more than I like Christmas, but I'm in the minority there for sure.
Yes. Yes, you are.
Vegas is god awful,
I view it favorably, but it's not good. But I love it.
and European is even worse.
European's terrible. European's bad and irredeemable. Vegas is bad and redeemable.
The only part of Vegas Vacation I like is that Wayne Newton is in it.
I will say, I remember you liking the Papa Nicholas stuff where he just constantly went from casino to casino, just winning cars and doing bullshit like that. I do remember you just kind of
Oh,
liking that stuff too.
it's been a long time since I've seen Vegas. I think that's the one I haven't seen well over a decade for sure.
Well, European Vacation, I'm sure you haven't watched that in the last decade.
No, I haven't.
Because I remember I had the collection of all four.
Yeah,
And European, I think I watched twice. Vegas Vacation, I know I've watched at least 10 to 15 times. We had that on VHS. I
it's funny
love Vegas
because
Vacation.
in terms of like concept, European Vacation I think is the best concept for one. It
Possibility.
just fails in all execution. What would be your score for Vacation?
If I recall correctly, I'm trying to think if I got my notes somewhere here. Oh boy, I don't know if I have my notes from the last one around. I'll go. I'm gonna go 5-5 again. I view it
Okay,
favorably, like Austin Powers, but I don't think it has that.
it's to me where Austin Powers is incredibly consistently pretty good.
Yeah,
I just can't give anything more than a 5 because like both the first and Christmas, I'd probably give a 7 out of 10.
I think both Vacation and Christmas Vacation are better than all three Austin Powers movies. But then I would also argue Vegas and European are both worse than all three Powers.
I would say way worse.
But I would take Christmas Vacation and Vacation over the entire Austin Powers franchise.
So, in terms of numbers, Vacation has a critic aggregate of 54.5 and an audience aggregate of 67.75,
Okay.
which seems a little high to me, but whatever.
Well, it's people that just like the movie, whatever. I don't think
I will say
as an aggregate of all four, that makes sense to me. If it was just an aggregate of one of them, I'd be like, eh.
Vegas Vacation has a critic score of 15, but it also has an audience score of 51.
That's what I'm
So
saying. What's European? Do you have that up?
37 and 49.
That makes sense to me. But it wows me that 37% of critics gave it a favorable review. That makes
I
it.
think it's a little crazy that 49% of people think European is a 3 out of 5 or higher. That seems a little high, but in total, out of 40, it's a 22.72.
Hey, still better than the original Batman because it's a fucking Batman Returns or a Batman and Robin.
Now we go to Toy Story. I would say 3 legitimately great movies
Yeah,
and 1 good movie.
I would give Toy Story. I'm gonna probably piss some people off here. I'm gonna go 7.5.
Okay.
Seven. I'm gonna go 7.75. My
Okay.
rationale is I don't think, unlike many people in our generation, I am not as dearly attached to Toy Story as other people are. I will argue the first three are legitimately great. And I would say Toy Story 3 is the peak. Because Toy Story 3, I don't know, and I truly mean this, how many other movies have played to their audience better than Toy Story 3 ever did. I think it is honestly, there's the Deion Sanders talk of there should be a Hall of Fame within the Hall of Fame kind of thing. In terms of playing to your audience, that's a Hall of Fame within the Hall of Fame movie. They have never understood their audience better than Toy Story 3 and that audience. But Toy Story 4 is good, but forgettable. I think Toy Story 2, honestly, even though what I remember of it, I like better than Toy Story 1. I think it's very forgettable. I think it goes into How to Train Your Dragon territory,
Oh, really?
where it's
I think
forgettable.
Toy Story 2 is very good.
I think it's really good from what I remember. I just kind of forget about it though.
Yeah.
And then
I
Toy
I'm
Story
also
1, I'm
thinking.
like, yeah, it's good, whatever. I wasn't
Oh, I see. I
enamored,
disagree with that completely.
but here's the thing. I know how good it is, but I wasn't enamored with Toy Story the way other people were.
I think Toy Story is has an argument for being the best animated movie ever. So that's why, like, I don't
Whoa,
personally
whoa.
love it.
Black Cauldron still exists, my friend.
That Cauldron's rough. Um, I do think the first 3 are legitimately great.
Yeah, I
So
do too.
that's why I would give it 7.5.
I think you can go in the eights. I considered an eight in this. I think if you think they're great, you should get it in the eights. And I know I'm not trying to influence your score too much.
Yeah,
I don't
I'll
want
go 8.
I think my apologies. I think in a tournament like this, it's important to have a wider variance score for stuff that is that good.
Uh, So the critic score on the first 3, 100, 198.
How the fuck did that get 2% of critics not liking that?
Great question. Total out of 40, it's a whopping 34.67. It's going to be a bruiser in this tournament.
It's gonna be scary. Let me tell you that.
Um, yeah, Toy Story. Technically, Toy Story 2 is the lowest, even though the scores on it are 187. So, like, it's incredibly. It's actually, like, in terms of consistency, how high it is, it's extremely impressive.
Interesting. Well, obviously, Toy Story is making it to the next round over Vacation. It does make me sad because if you at this is where I'm going to sound crazy, but again, I'm not super attached to it. If you said you have to watch a franchise, I think I might take Vacation over Toy Story.
And yes, I would call you crazy.
It's more so I don't know what it is about Vacation Christmas Vacation and Vegas Vacation. They just get me. I like that style of humor.
So you are the vacation, and I am the Austin Powers. Where it's just like,
It just
something
works. It
about
just
it.
works for us, Now, let's go into what should be an interesting one. We have X-Men taking on Star Wars. Now, X-Men, we stated there is no spin-off, so no Wolverines, no Origins. It's just the movies that are titled X-Men blank.
Yeah.
Star Wars is the exact same. Star Wars is just the 9 episodes of Star Wars that are officially released by Lucasfilm, 20th Century Fox, Disney, whatever you
Okay.
may say. There is no Life Day celebrations here. This is, I think, I'm going to put the timer on. I know we're going to go over all the time. Let's just be honest here.
Okay, what do you want to talk about first?
Let's go X-Men because I think we can be briefer
Okay.
on X-Men than the other one. Go for it.
X-Men 1. Good. I like the setup. I like most of what they do with most of the characters. I think it's a good starting point for a franchise. X2 definitely elevates it. It's a better movie. They introduced Nightcrawler, which is awesome.
Nightcrawler's the best thing that's ever happened in that franchise. Let's be honest here.
The third one, I just watched it not that long ago, like, I don't know, 4 or 5 months ago. Not as bad as I remember,
Mhm.
but still bad.
Oh, yeah.
First Class is legitimately good. Love the new cast that they picked.
Yep.
I think it's some of the character choices are a little weird, but whatever.
Yep.
Days of Future Past is, again, good movie.
I would argue Days of Future Past is the best of that franchise.
See, I'd say X2 is
I'd
the
go
best.
Days of Future Past, X2, First Class, X-Men, and then we get into discussions.
Apocalypse is bad.
It ain't great. Dark Phoenix is worse.
I will say Apocalypse was also like extreme letdown
Yeah.
in terms of like what I think they could have done with it.
I think the sad part is we were finally starting to get into the comic booky X-Men that people want. And we were finally starting to get the tastes of that. And then to see where it went, where Oscar
Ivan
Isaacs,
Ooze.
I mean, he looks like Ivan Ooze from Power Rangers. It sucks because the steps they took in the direction that fans wanted looked cool or seemed promising. We were theoretically getting like a truly unlocked Magneto, who's slowly becoming more unlocked, but we were going to get very close to comic book level. Holy fuck, Magneto is amazing. Psylocke finally looked good, or Psylocke not only looked good, but was finally there, and they were doing some comic booky shit where it's just like, oh shit, they just put the hot girl character in that everyone likes. But it's also
She's awful in that movie.
Olivia Munn is not good. But again, it's one where you're like, that's cool. Apocalypse is one of the big bads of the X-Men franchise.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh shit, we're building like X-Men's Thanos here.
The, the real problem with Apocalypse to me is that entire last battle is like legitimately ugly.
Yeah, it doesn't look good.
It looks bad.
I think the other thing is they were trying to still do this like harken back to the old suits while trying to go comic booky, and they just didn't look right. Nothing looked. The best costume in the movie, sadly, is for one of the worst characters because the Psylocke costume looks great, but Olivia Munn is terrible.
It's a little bit too.
Oh, it's too comic booky in the fact that it's accurate to the comic books,
Yeah,
but it's the
yeah.
one that actually looks the best, which is hilarious to me because it's like that's the one that we put our time and effort into. Magneto's too red and doesn't make sense. Archangel just looks a little too. Quicksilver looks too drab. All the X-Men suits in general look a little too drab.
That's the kind of the problem with all the Bryan Singer ones. Is they're a little bit too drab.
The color palette is just not that appealing. And I think
Yeah, because it's like a weird middle point between Marvel and what the DCU tried to do.
Yeah.
Like it's a weird middle point between the two.
Where like DCEU, say what you will, I don't like it. I want to make it clear, but
Oh, I hate it.
they were going for this hyper stylized look and they're trying to get their own look and feel, which I at least understand. I don't agree with it, but I at least understand the logic. But you're right. It's a weird middle ground where it just doesn't look good. The X-Men suits in general don't look great. And they're like, oh, we're a
Yes.
team and we're in black leather. And you're like, why? And none of them have any true personality. The most they get is Wolverine gets the 3 stripes, and that's about it.
Yeah. I mean, in terms of like on the whole, I'm really finding it hard to go any more than a 6.
So I'm just going to break it down this way. Of the 7 films we've detailed, I am favorable on 4, and I am unfavorable on 3 of them. And I wouldn't say they're the worst. I wouldn't say any of those 3 are the worst we're going to see in this tournament.
Oh, definitely not. Not even
But
close.
I will say this. In an odd way, as much as I hate it, I would rather watch Batman and Robin than I would any of those 3 movies that I just stated I don't have a favorable opinion on.
Well, they're way more bland than Batman and
Because
Robin.
they are so bland, where Batman and Robin is so dumb.
Yeah, it's legitimately stupid.
It's at least very visually interesting. I'll give it that.
It's still ugly.
I just love a lot of the production design elements of that. I actually do that a lot for sketching. I will go back and watch clips of that movie to look at the backgrounds. But yeah, I'm gonna go 6.5. I view it favorably. I think Days of Future Past and X2 are really good. I'd give them both 8s. I'd give First Class and X-Men a 7. And then I'd go, which one do I like more? I think I might like Last Stand most out of those 3. Because I go Last Stand, Apocalypse.
I would agree.
Dark Phoenix is terrible. It's not good.
So I went 6 because I'm like there are more good than bad, but it's not like overwhelmingly good or anything. So in terms of out of 40 to 26.83, the critic aggregate is 66.8. The audience aggregate is 76.5.
Okay.
I think those are actually pretty
fair,
accurate. Yeah, pretty accurate
representation
scores there. Dark Phoenix is the worst reviewed.
It's not shocking.
Days of Future Past is the best reviewed.
That's also not shocking. All right, let's get into the can of worms that is this franchise.
Okay, Star Wars. Tough. I like the first 3.
I think it's a really hard one to grade. I really do, because you are looking
at
3 different eras of film.
How many of them do you love?
Well, how many do I love? 1.
I would agree.
How many do I view very favorably? 3. How many do I view favorably? 4. How many can I get passed by? 5. How many do I have a disfavorable opinion on? 4. How many do I think are truly travesties? 2. Like this is the whole gambit of outlier systems. This is an entire spectrum where I think I could argue a different quality level on all 9 films.
Yeah,
I
think Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, Last Jedi, and Rise of Skywalker are bad movies.
I would agree with that.
Like I wouldn't give them more than a 5.
Last Jedi, I think because it looks great, it's more my disagreements I could give a 5 to. But I would go Rise of Skywalker's a 3.
I would agree, 3.
Phantom Menace, I think I might.
The problem with Rise of Skywalker is it's both too long and it's crammed with so many different ideas.
Yeah.
It's just not cohesive in any kind of way.
And then it's this and the dagger and like it's so much crap. I would go, if I'm going to try to do this quickly,
Last Jedi in my mind is just boring.
I think there's interesting elements of Last Jedi. Again, if someone, I would disagree with this, but if someone wanted to tell me Last Jedi is a good movie, it's not a good Star Wars movie, I could hear them out.
Mm,
I would disagree with them, but I would hear them out.
I think it's both boring and dumb.
So I think the worst of the franchise is Attack of the Clones. I think it's the worst.
Yeah,
I'd give Attack of the Clones as a 2. Rise of
I'd agree.
Skywalker is a 3. I'd give Phantom Menace a 3.5 because it does set up a lot of cool. There's a lot of cool shit in Phantom Menace. The bad is bad. I think the
Yes.
good is good. It just is more favorably bad than it is favorably good. So, and Last Jedi, I could give as high as a 5. I hate it. If you told me which Star Wars movie I hate the most, it's definitely Last Jedi. Because it's the insult. It's the insult of the franchise where I'm not insulted by any of the other movies other than this was stupid choices. Why? Last Jedi is legitimately insulting because it's one guy getting to fuck with everybody's favorable stuff and then just getting to do whatever he wants.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the insulting part.
I
Continue on for
think
a second.
A New Hope it revolutionary in terms of a lot of aspects of filmmaking. So I do respect that one. I don't love it. I think it's a good movie. Empire, undeniably great. Return of the Jedi is pretty meh. There's parts of it I like, but no. I'm sorry. Everything to do with Han Solo and uh, Leia, pretty much useless in that movie. Like honestly, they do nothing. Um,
Yeah, but you got to remember, you get Luke and Vader in the end.
yeah, but that still half of the ending is boring.
Dude.
I don't hate the Ewoks either.
Oh shit, we got some chats here too. Sorry guys. We'll check on the chat in a second.
Um,
Okay, so Return of the Jedi, I think gets unfavorably shit on for no reason. I love the Ewoks. They're awesome. They're little teddy bear savages, but they're also cannibals. People don't talk about that enough.
my problem with Return of the Jedi is not the Ewoks.
I think you do have a point with Leia and Han. Their story of relevance kind of ends at the end of the first act,
Yes,
but they're still fun and cool, so I'm fine with it.
yeah, because they're Harrison Ford and Carrie Fisher. That's the only
But they
reason.
don't do anything that I dislike, or I think it. I
Give
can
them
give you.
something to do.
Well, of course, I want something to do. There's a reason Harrison Ford was trying not to come back.
You're gonna sideline in the best character in all of Star Wars, Chewbacca. Come on.
Yeah, Chewie is a little sidelined, but the Luke and Vader stuff is so good. And I will say, the Emperor, I do believe, for a movie that wasn't trying to build hype that much, they build the hype around the Emperor very well. I will say that.
Sure.
So here's where I'll go on that one.
Oh, also you have to also consider the re-releases, which make them worse. You have the stupid Jabba's Palace song.
That to me, it's inoffensive. It's dumb, but it's
It's
inoffensive.
like 2 minutes of absolute garbage. Like, come
um,
on.
so here's what I'll say. I do understand why some of the shots Lucas wanted to get better, and I think they do get better.
I would agree.
I think the X-wing stuff gets better in New Hope, and a lot of the space battles in general, I do think get better with the special editions. But yeah, they add a lot of stupidity. Han
Oh,
Han
also,
not
I will
shooting
say,
first is legitimately stupid.
yes. Yeah, I will say, I think my favorite, I spoke too soon. I think my favorite character in all of Star Wars is that one that just looks like a pink elephant. It looks like a Muppet. I
Pink
can't remember
elephant
what.
or the blue elephant?
I think it's a pink elephant.
Oh, the blue one that's playing the
I
drums
think.
in the cafe? Max Rebo?
It, I think it's in Jabba's palace, but
Yeah, it's Max
let me
Rebo.
look.
He's blue.
Okay, let me look him up.
You literally look up Max Rebo and it will show up and you will see what I'm talking about.
Yep, that's the one.
Max Rebo's your favorite character?
I just love that it's literally just an elephant.
Spoilers, no spoilers. Um, there's a scene in Book of Boba Fett where it's in a cantina on Tatooine and it gets blown up. And the first comment on one of the reactors that I watch, or it's like a whole collection of reactors, was one of the reactors go, didn't see Max Rebo working that night, so we're okay. Like, because everyone's just like, no, we like Max Rebo. He's awesome. So as Star Wars goes, I can't deny I view 5 films at meh or worse. But Empire is so fucking good. New Hope is good and obviously groundbreaking. And I look favorably on Return of the Jedi as well. And Force Awakens, I would say, is just above meh. I view it as above average.
Okay.
But the other 5, legitimately, I think I'd still go Revenge of the Sith as a meh. It's just a meh.
Sure. Yeah.
The other
I mean,
4, though, legitimately pissed me off in some way.
I'm just gonna jump to it. I think I'm a 6.5 because there's a lot of Star Wars I respect but don't like.
I'm going to go 6.
Okay.
I'm going to give it less than X-Men. Because
I'm
I think the
thinking
worst of
like,
Star Wars is worse than the worst of X-Men.
I'm also thinking of like it does do a lot of technological jumps in filmmaking, so like I respect a lot of it.
Well, I'm going to try to just. Do I have a sheet of paper or something around here? Keep talking.
Well, I have the score ready if
Go
you
for it.
want. Okay, so the aggregate score out of 40 is 27.81.
Whoa.
Now, the critics' aggregate of all the movies is 77.7. The audience average is 75.4. So they are like consistently in that range. Actually, no, I would say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them are greatly reviewed. But then there are a couple that just drag it down.
What are the 3 that drag it down?
Phantom Menace, 54.59.
That is way too favorable.
Attack of the Clones is a 62.56.
Way too favorable.
Rise of Skywalker is at 51.86.
86? The fuck are we smoking out here, guys?
And then Last Jedi is a 91.41.
That I at least understand.
I don't understand the 91.
I think it's wrong, but I at least understand it.
I would understand 41.41 on that.
I could have gone either way, honestly. I'm just trying to do the spectrum at what I think this franchise is at. Because I think you got
the worst reviewed in terms of Rotten Tomatoes is Phantom Menace, and then the best are Empire and New Hope tied.
Okay. So I'm just trying to score these real quick.
I think. Let's see here.
No, I'm gonna go here. That's more fair.
So Empire and A New Hope are tied for the 4th highest score on Rotten Tomatoes in this tournament.
Wow.
At 95.
Okay. Interesting.
And considering how like a low score, Phantom Menace isn't that low. I mean, I disagree with it because it still is like an average of 56. 7-ish.
It's a technical marvel. It does break new ground. The lightsaber battles are incredible. The pod race scene is too long, but I get why people like it.
The whole movie's too long.
It's visually groundbreaking in a way that no one understands. So I just quickly did this. I don't know if you can read it or see it. I did the entire spectrum of Star Wars here. Empire's a 9. I got Return of the Jedi as a 7.5. New Hope is a 7. Force Awakens I give a 5.5. I got Revenge of the Sith as a 5. I got Last Jedi as a 4.5. Phantom's a 3.5. Rise of Skywalker's a 3, and Attack of the Clones is a 2.
Most of those I would just shift down 0.5.
And I like Star Wars more than you do.
I would say Force Awakens is higher than a 5.5.
When we watched it, I remember just kind of go, every time I watch it, it gets worse. It's just very bland. Very straightforward.
That's why it's a 6. It's straight up a 6.
So that's why I said 5.5, because I view it favorably, but not super favorably.
So I did not write down the X-Men score.
It's 26.83, so barely. Oh. Star Wars barely beat out the X-Men.
Closest battle yet.
I don't want to call it right now because we start getting into bigger. We do another category here. Star Wars is going to get knocked out.
More numbers are going to be added. We'll see where it ends up.
Star Wars is going to get knocked out before we even get to the Elite 8.
We'll see.
That's crazy. All right. We have our 2 last ones on this episode, and then we might have to call it and only do 1 episode today simply because of stuff. Also, I do want to look at our quick chats here because we had someone who's in the chat with us. First-time chatter. We get asked, are you guys brothers? Yes, we are brothers.
No. I was adopted.
You were adopted? Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess we'd still be brothers, but...
The best part is who was it? We were recently talking to a friend. It's like a month or so ago. And the second I got glasses, they're like, holy shit, that is just a bald Evan when looking at you versus me. Mm-hmm. The second I got glasses, it became far worse in the fact that we look so similar in that standpoint.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people thought we were twins.
Yeah, no, we got twins the entire time growing up, so I get it. But yes, we are brothers. But it is funny. I like how no one asked about a movie. They just asked, "Are you guys brothers?" Like, yeah, that's why it's called Those Davies Boys as our channel. But they don't know that necessarily. And thank you for chatting. We weren't trying to ignore you. We were just trying to get the podcast rolling because it's weird. On my Twitch chat on my phone, it doesn't show up, but it shows up on my OBS one. All right, penultimate matchup of this episode. We have The Godfather taking on Deadpool. And I think this is going to be an interesting one. Because I know what the math's going to say. But I know what I'm going to say.
Okay. All my problems with Deadpool are... It is the consistent theme throughout it, but how unserious it takes itself.
Correct.
I don't love that. I don't love that when movies try to make you care at some points, but then the whole rest of it, they're saying, don't take us seriously.
Sure.
That bothers me. But The Godfather 3 is bad.
It's bad.
I don't know about bad. It's very meh. I haven't seen it in a long time. If you were going
to punish the final act of other movies, I think you really got to punish Godfather 3. It's bad. And also...
I'm just saying there's parts of it I do like.
Because you know what movie it actually compares really well to? In an odd way? It's not a 1-for-1. I want to make that clear. You know what it actually goes to? Attack of the Clones. Because it is completely comparable to a love story that no one buys and no one believes because the 2 leads have no chemistry. So, and I would say, oddly, of the 4 actors that we're talking about, of the cruxes of these movies, I think I could argue.
No. Andy Garcia is 10 times the actor of anyone else in those movies.
Including Natalie Portman?
Natalie Portman in Phantom Menace is bad.
Attack of the Clones? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yes.
I'm thinking right now if I were to rank it, it would be Andy Garcia, Natalie Portman, Hayden Christensen, Sofia Coppola.
I would agree. But Andy Garcia is way above Natalie Portman in that movie.
Yeah.
Natalie Portman as an actor overall, yes, she's great.
She's better than Andy Garcia overall, but not in that movie.
Yes. Yes. Number one, great movie. Like, most people would say top 10 movie of all time. People say that about Godfather 2 as well.
I disagree with both those takes, but I understand the argument.
I like the first one more than I like the second.
I agree with that as well.
But I think they're undeniably great movies.
I think Godfather 2 is wildly overrated. That's my hot take.
I don't know about wildly, but it is overrated in my mind.
The stuff people like the most is the stuff I dislike the most about that movie. I don't like any of the flashback New York stuff. I just think it's a very...
Oh, really?
Here's the thing.
I like those parts more, actually.
I will say this. I need to rewatch The Godfather, and I'd be very interested in doing it for the show, simply so I have a reason to do it. And we're what, 55-year anniversary is next year for Godfather, and I'll just do them both at the same time. I don't really care.
Yeah.
When I watched The Godfather for the first time as a teen, I somehow got through the slow pacing and really understood how good it was. And I liked it a lot. I then watched Godfather Part 2, and I went, this is boring as hell. This is legitimately boring. And that is my problem with some of the classics in general, not just a Godfather 2 issue. I really cannot stand when film criticism or conversation just goes, it's a classic and you don't understand that's how movies were made. I'm like, no, I get it. Movies were very different in the 40s. I end up liking a lot of those movies. The acting was a completely different style of acting. I like shit from the 1930s. It's a completely different way of doing things. It's not just because it's different than what I normally watch now. I'm legitimately bored in Godfather 2 all the time.
Okay. I mean, I disagree, but it's your opinion.
And Godfather 3 is just not good. Andy Garcia is actually compelling by himself.
Yes.
The problem
it's a very mixed bag.
Almost every scene he's in, he is with Sofia Coppola.
Overall, I would give Godfather 8.
I'm going to give a 7 to The Godfather.
I was thinking 7.5, but I was like, I think both. I would give Godfather 1 and 2 probably an 8.5. Godfather 3 probably a 5.5.
I was going to go Godfather is an 8. Godfather 2, if I'm trying to be fair, I'd go 6.5. Because I think the quality of the movie is probably higher, but I think it's just incredibly boring, and that takes it out for me.
Did you say 7.5 or 7?
I went 7.
Okay.
And then I will go for I'd go a 5 on Godfather 3. I'd go, that is a straight middle of the road movie.
Okay. In terms of, so the first two are incredible numbers.
Well, of course they are.
The third one is a 66-68. So it's dragging it down.
Yeah.
In terms of an aggregate for the whole franchise, 86.3, 87.6. So total out of 40 with yours and my score, 32.39.
Interesting. Okay. That's second highest of the ones we've done thus far.
I will say, in terms of Rotten Tomatoes overall, the whole tournament, Godfather is the highest score, 97.5.
I would assume.
Godfather 2 is the second highest, 96.5.
Those are both wrong because there's a better movie in the next episode. There's a better movie in the next tournament, in the next bracket, or in the next game we have.
And the third we already talked about, which was Toy Story.
Right. Okay, let's go to Deadpool. What's your score on Deadpool?
I still have not seen the third. But I'm going to assume I will like it just as much as I like the other ones.
Yeah, so, I think the things that grate on you will grate on you more. But I think...
okay, so I'd probably lower my number then.
But at the same time, I think they include more Marvel and X-Men shit that you like. So it might balance it out.
Okay, I'm going to go a 6. There's parts I really like. There's a lot of parts that annoy the fuck out of me.
You know what's going to be crazy? I'm considering giving a better score to Deadpool than I am The Godfather.
It's all personal opinion.
I'm going to go 7, though, because I will say this. I don't think the quality of Deadpool 1 is insane. I would rate I'd go 8, 8, 8, 5 on just straight quality of the movie. But I will say, I also disagree with the impact that it's given film where too many people are trying to do Deadpool. I disagree with that stuff. I don't like that as much. I miss the earnestness of it. And I don't think I can fairly look at the quality.
When is Deadpool ever earnest?
No, that's what I'm saying. Is like I agree with your take that
Oh, okay, yeah.
it's taken away the earnestness of other films because they're trying to do Deadpool as opposed to just being themselves.
The thing that I would compare it to is Guardians of the Galaxy 1. Where there is an actual true heart to that movie.
Yeah.
Whereas I don't feel like Deadpool has that. But they both try to do the same thing where they have comedic moments that, hey, don't take this too serious. But then also take this part serious.
So the thing is, I would say somewhere in the second film, the franchise morphs from because I remember being in that theater for all three. But in that theater for Deadpool 1, that is one of the most refreshing movies I've ever seen in my life because it is so
I enjoyed the first one a lot, yeah.
because people just go, I didn't know they could make movies like this. And it's a really refreshing take when superheroes were trying to get a little over too serious. It came out literally right before Batman versus Superman, which is just smelling its own farts and sucking its own dick at how serious it is. And
Yes.
Deadpool 1 is just pissing over everything, and it's super refreshing. Deadpool 2 somewhere in there. I think Deadpool 2 is much better than Deadpool 1, actually. But I would also argue that's where it goes into the comedy franchise of, is this your taste? If this is your taste, you'll really like these movies. If this is not your taste, you might just be able to say they're fine. And by Deadpool 3, it's definitely a flavor of ice cream. You either like the flavor or you don't. I would 1,000% sign up to watch Deadpool and the whole franchise way more than I would The Godfather. Having said that, I can't argue that the quality of the Deadpool films are better than the first two.
No, but your score is literally just your taste.
I'm going to go 7 again. I think that's fair. I'm going to tie them because Godfather 2 is legitimately boring and Godfather 3 is not fun to watch.
Deadpool is a 6 to me because I'd give the first one a 6. I'd give the second one a 6. And I'm assuming I'm going to give the third one a 6. I just can't care for it.
That's fair.
So out of 40, Deadpool scores a 30.16.
That's really respectable for Deadpool, honestly.
It's a really good score, honestly. It would have taken out most of the other competitors.
It takes out Star Wars, X-Men, Vacation, Phase 1, Batman, Phase 2, Nightmare.
Most of them.
It takes out almost everything in as far as this bracket. All right, Godfather takes it. And let's go to our final match of the episode and of the stream today. And I'm just going to double check to make sure we don't have any comments or anything. All right, cool. We have Mad Max taking on The Dark Knight, which is interesting because I have both these franchises have a perfect movie.
Okay, Dark Knight. First one, I think really underrated.
Batman Begins?
Yes, I think it's very underrated. Even though most people like it, I think it's still underrated.
Yeah. I mean,
for what it does it a little bit too much. It's a little too frenetic in its editing, I think, which is just a sign of the times in my mind.
Oh, Batman Begins?
Yeah.
Yeah. A little more shaky camish. And I don't really love that.
I think it really finds its way with Dark Knight, and that's really where I think Nolan finds its way, where like he's like, okay, I know my aesthetic and I'm going to stick to it.
It's Prestige and Dark Knight. Those two back to back immediately. You're like, he's got it. It's done. He's got it.
And then Dark Knight Rises is very whatever.
I rank those an 8, a 10, and an 8.5.
8.5 for Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah.
I don't think Bane is very compelling.
I don't love Bane, but I think Bane is a good reflection of the themes they're trying to go at. It's the consequences of what comes of your actions, and I think the like I like Dark Knight Rises more than I like Batman Begins. I like the fact that someone finally understood how to tell a Batman story and give a happy ending. I don't love the fact that he has to
Sure.
give up Batman to do that.
See, Dark Knight Rises to me, Marion Cotillard, I think, is actually not good in it.
I think she's good in it until the last scene.
See, I don't buy into the romance between her and Bruce at all.
I'd agree with that.
I I think those scenes take away from the movie overall, especially considering the way it ends with Catwoman.
Yeah.
Like, why would you put that in place of just build up the relationship between Catwoman and Bruce more than
I will say I would have appreciated. I have no problem if they have like sex. That's not an issue. I would have liked more of the tease of the temptress more than I would have liked the
in terms of
Talia,
Catwoman? Okay. Oh, in terms of Marion Cotillard. Okay.
because also I remember seeing the first preview. And granted, I was at one of my peaks of Batman fandom. This was the start of the peak in which I remember seeing that trailer and I just went, "That's Talia al Ghul." Or in an entire crowded theater, I just went, "That's Talia al Ghul," and I will bet money on it right now. I had nothing, and I would have bet every dollar I had that that was Talia al Ghul, and I was 1,000% correct. So I remember a year beforehand, I went, "That's Talia." I'm telling you right now, that is Talia. Especially after Inception, I was like, I know that bitch is going to betray him. I know that for a fact. That's what she gets cast as because that's what she's good at. So I will say, I saw that twist coming a mile away. It didn't bother me because it's very comic accurate. That at the end of the day, they can't be together because their ideals are way too diametrically opposed. I didn't have an issue with them having a relationship, but I agree with you. I would have liked to see more. It is wild to think how compelling Christian Bale and Anne Hathaway are together in that
They're
movie,
great together, yeah.
and then you see it compared to Christian Bale and Marion Cotillard, and it's night and day.
I would agree. And also the ending doesn't work for me in Dark Knight Rises
Okay.
with a completely unnecessary Robin reference. It's just so pointless.
Oh, you got to get it in there. I was totally fine with it. Whatever.
I would actually argue most of the stuff with Joseph Gordon-Levitt is pretty useless.
I just think it's a very clever way that they somehow found a way to do Robin without doing Robin.
It's still not needed.
I disagree with it because I'm like, just do Robin. Just we want Robin, just give us Robin.
I
But
would rather them just take it out of the movie, but whatever.
which is hilarious because you're a Robin guy. You like Robin.
Yeah, and I like Joseph Gordon-Levitt, but he's he's super forgettable in that movie.
I just think there's a lot of compelling action scenes.
Especially when you consider his impact on Inception, where he's still a side character, but he's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's not great.
It is hilarious because it's just, let's get the Inception team to make a Batman movie.
It really was, yeah.
It's like Marion Cotillard, Tom Hardy, and Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Let's all come and play in this world again. And then it's hilarious because you knew Michael Caine was going to be in it because like he's obviously Alfred, so that one doesn't count, but it kind of counts because he's in Inception as well.
That's one scene I think is fantastic. Is Alfred at Bruce's grave. Great scene.
I think all the stuff with Bruce and Alfred's really good in that.
Yeah. I do think all three are quality movies. I give every single one 7.5 or higher,
which is high for you. Yeah, I go
very high.
I go 8, 10, 8, 5.
Okay, so out of 10, what's your score?
9.
Okay. Plus 9.
And Mad Max, I believe I gave a 7.5.
I would give The Dark Knight franchise an 8. So the critic score aggregate was 88.67. The audience was
I
92.67.
knew that was going to be high.
Out of 40, the Dark Knight trilogy got a 35.12.
We got a juggernaut on our hands. 35 what, 2?
1-2.
Okay.
Yeah, Evil Dead.
Oh, Mad Max. It's Mad Max, my friend.
Oh, sorry. Mad Max. Let me find it. Actually, I view both of those as very interchangeable, honestly.
They have their own vibe. It's an interesting one. So here's what I'll say. I said a lot about Mad Max before. I knew going in I was going to have to kill one of my darlings in this matchup, and I knew the one I was going to go because you can't argue the quality of the Dark Knight trilogy over or to be less than Mad Max because Mad Max 1 is an interesting little concept movie, and I would argue it's a 6.5. Favorable, good, nothing spectacular. Road Warrior, I'd go 7.5. I think Road Warrior is really good. It's an enjoyable movie. Still a little off the beaten path and not perfect, but there's iconic stuff in it. Beyond Thunderdome, from what I see and what I know of it, it's a 5.5. You like Mad Max, you don't. That's what it is. It's whatever.
I mean, it fits well within the franchise.
Right. But I've said it before, and if I'm going to say it's perfect, Fury Road is a 10 for me. I think it's an incredible film. And Furiosa, I'd go back to 7.5. Like it's a fun movie. I actually go 7.
We weren't including Furiosa though.
Oh, we didn't include Furiosa.
No, just
I thought
the 4.
enough crossover was in Furiosa that we included it, but
no. I mean, Furiosa also, I think, fits well within the franchise. It's a good movie, but
I don't think Mad Max has ever had a misstep. I think Mad Max has always been.
Beyond Thunderdome, I would give a 5.
Yeah, that's a 5.5 for me. So that's why, like Mad Max, I have a 7.5 because I think that's what it is. It's mostly 7s with one absolutely. Actually, you know what? I take that back. I'm just doing some aggregate in my head. I'll go 8 on Mad Max. I think Mad Max is incredible. It's an amazing franchise. Mad Max getting this spot is solely due to the random selections we gave. Because I think Mad Max could take out the vast majority of this tournament by itself.
I would give Mad Max probably a 6.5. Because I think the first one's a 6. Road Warrior, I don't like as much as most people.
Yeah.
I do like the aesthetic of Road Warrior more than I like the first one.
Yeah.
I think it both is a stronger aesthetic, but also kind of more true to what that franchise is now.
Well, Mad Max 2 is where Road Warrior is where it becomes Mad Max.
Yeah. Beyond Thunderdome, like I said, it's like a 4.5 or a 5. It's very forgettable.
Right.
Tina Turner's kind of fun to watch in it, but that's about it. And Fury Road, yeah, is a great movie. So yeah, I say 6.5 for me in terms of the whole franchise.
Okay.
The critic aggregate is very high, 89.75.
Yep.
Audience is 72.75.
That makes sense.
I was going to say, I think that actually reflects, and really, the only reason it's a 72 is because Beyond Thunderdome has a 49% audience score.
Mm-hmm.
Even though critic score is 80, which seems high, but whatever. Okay, out of 40, it's a 30.74.
It's a high rank, man. This is the first big time, like, oh fuck, that's a heavyweight fight right there for me. It's just you were going up against. I am not going to be shocked if the Dark Knight is in the final. I don't know if it is. I'm not calling that now, but I'm not going to be shocked if it is. Because math-wise, it's only going to get better. It's going to hold up really well. The question is, I don't want to spoil anything, but I'm seeing where this is going, and I'm.
The Dark Knight is a 94, which is it's tied with a bunch of movies for 5th highest.
Yep.
Rotten Tomatoes score.
The Dark Knight is legitimately an incredible film. It's one of the best films ever made. I would argue that any day of my week, any day of the year, I would do that. So, but yeah, I think this has been a fun first opening round. We'll be back with the second half of this opening round. It's just unfortunately I have to go to work. Otherwise, I'd stay on and do a whole nother episode with you. But hey, going on to round 2, we will have Jurassic Park taking on Indiana Jones. So we have a Spielberg special. Then we have the MCU's Phase 2 taking on How to Train Your Dragon, which is pretty evenly matched math-wise. We then have Toy Story taking on Star Wars. And finally, we have The Godfather taking on The Dark Knight.
Ooh, that's another good matchup.
That's a heavyweight fight right there. That's a heavyweight fight. And Letterboxd is getting added.
Yes.
Next time. So that's a whole different can of worms as well. So that's going to be a really fun one to play with and have some fun with. But that is going to do it for this section of the tournament. The next rounds, you're going to see Lord of the Rings versus Planet of the Apes, Mission Impossible, Star Trek. You get Harry Potter and Back to the Future. James Bond makes an appearance. More Marvel stuff. The Universal Monsters come into play. So we're going to have a lot of fun in this next section of games in round 1. So stay tuned for that and check out every episode that you can this March of the tournament. But beyond that, always join us on Twitch Live. It's a really snappy channel over on Twitch. You can see live recordings every single week. Beyond that, go check out those Davies Boys for all this kind of content, including all the Wisco Movie Watchers podcasts, and go check out the Really Snappy Gaming channel for more stuff. So that's going to do it, folks. Thank you guys so much for watching, listening, lurking, wherever you may be. Watch a great movie and take care of yourself. Peace, love, and hugs. Goodbye! Hey friends, thanks for sticking with this here project of ours. If you want more great entertainment, check out those Davies Boys on YouTube, Spotify, and Instagram for the Wisco Movie Watchers podcast and Wisco Movie Watchers Club specials and game shows. Or if you want to be part of a live recording, check us out on the Really Snappy channel over on Twitch. You may just have some of your thoughts make our final show. And if you're into gaming, be sure to check out our sister channel, Really Snappy Gaming, on YouTube. That's all, folks. See you down the road. And as always, peace, love, and hugs to you all.